Analysis of variance or yung tinatawag natin na Anova. By definition, Anova is substantially more flexible in that it can compare two or more sample means at the same time. It also determines if the deviation between any pair of sample means is greater than what we expected to the sampling error, and it can compare two treatments as well as to control conditions. So, kasi di ba yung mga pinag-aaralan natin before, like yung mga correlations, yung mga test natin, and etc. sa ating measures of variation and sa linear regression, limited lang naman yung na-analyze natin na sample, di ba? Or yung ating treatments. Ito, kaya niyong mag-analyze ng two or more sample means at the same time. It also used when there are different people in each condition of the design. If there were three different treatments that you wanted to compare in an independent sample design, so pwede halimbawa, meron kang sample from different courses, and syempre, merong mga different populations involved with different result din na nakuha kasi iba-iba yung kanilang characteristics. Depende kasi yan dun sa nahanap natin on our data gathering. Logic of the analysis of variance. First is the measurement error. There will always be variance in score between people because variables cannot be measured perfectly. Okay, so sabi nga, there will always be variance. Nagbabago kasi variance is variation, di ba? In scores between people. So, hindi pwedeng magbigay yung lahat ng respondent na same score because variables cannot be measured perfectly, sabi daw. So, that is the first logic of the analysis of variance. Next one is we also have individual differences. So, there will always be variance in score between people because people are naturally different from each other. For example, nag-data gathering ka about sa products mo, halimbawa yung products mo, pagkain, and then nagpatikim ka sa kanila ng product na yon and then nagpa-rate ka kung ano yung kanilang panlasa tungkol dun sa yung research or dun sa products mo, halimbawa. And then, makakahanap ka ng mga scores from different people na iba-iba yung kanilang panlasa. Siyempre kasi we have individual differences. At yun yung i-analyze natin sa ating analysis of variance. Then the last one is the treatment effect. There might be variance in scores between groups because groups experience different individual differences or independent variable, yung tinatawag natin na IV, conditions or treatment. So halimbawa, group of people, so ayan, mag-aano ba tayo dyan? Halimbawa, a group of students from engineering, biology, chemistry, life science, and mathematics yung respondent. So, pwede kang gumamit ng Anova or yung analysis of variance. So, ano yung advantage of Anova? First, be done without making error. So, sa statistics kasi, as long as you can defend your solutions, kasi we have different types of statistical tools, no? Halimbawa, yung Anova, maraming author or maraming procedure or steps. Iba-iba naman yung kanilang kung paano nila ginawa yun. But as long as you arrive at a solutions with a statistical basis, okay yun. And you can just defend your answer. Then the other one is to compare the data from more than two conditions with a single analysis. Kaya nga nag-a-analyze tayo, hindi naman ibig sabihin you come up with the exact value. No? There are some variation na nangyayari doon. So, depende siguro kapag gumamit ka kasi ng significance level natin. We have 0.05, we have 0.01. So, depende. Pero kapag, tawag dyan, gumamit ka ng two or more or at least mga two or more authors ng statistical tools yung ginamit natin and you arrive with at least nearest yung mga answers doon, you can conclude that your analysis is valid. Ito lang naman yung ano dyan, yung tinitingnan, yung F. Yung F test. That is equals to variability between treatment condition over the variability within treatment condition. So between over within. Yun yung ating F score. So if the null hypothesis, ito yung H sub 0. Kasi di ba pag naglagay tayo ng null analysis, when you say null, walang laman, no? So ibig sabihin walang difference. So nagko-conclude tayo na walang difference. So pag null hypothesis, hindi na tayo magsosolve ng statistics. 'Di ba? Okay, so hindi na natin palalawigin pa yung discussion. So yung null hypothesis, walang difference 'yon. So if the ANOVA F value is expected to be close to at least 0 or -1 or 1. 'Di ba? Mako-conclude natin na yung null hypothesis na yun is true. Kasi ang baba lang naman yung F ng F value na nakuha natin. Then the next one, if the null hypothesis is false, ayan, kapag ibig sabihin may difference na siya kasi ang null hypothesis ay walang difference talaga yung variation natin. The ANOVA F value is expected to be close to greater than 1 and less than 1. Okay? But if the F ratio is much greater than the critical value, sabi natin dun sa rules natin, no? Reject the null hypothesis. Okay? So kapag ganon, i-reject natin yung null hypothesis and then we come up with our kung ano yung na-analyze natin. I-analyze natin yung treatment. Okay? So halimbawa, maglalaga ako dito ng ayan. Ay, sorry. Bakit ayaw? Dito na lang. Ayan. So halimbawa, we have sample ng population 1. Ayaw siya magsulat. Ayan. And then population 2. And population 3. And population 4. Ayan, sorry. And then, syempre, makakakuha ka dyan sa mga respondent natin ng mga sample. Okay? O pwede natin itong gamitin as sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, sample 4. And yung mga sample natin or result, lagay ko na lang, result ito, makakagather tayo dyan ng mean. Okay? Yung bar x natin, di ba? Yung bar x natin is mean or x bar. Di ba? So kapag nagkaroon tayo dyan ng mean, i-compare natin yon. Ito, versus yan, versus ito, at saka yan. So, comparison ng lahat ng mean and then make a decision. So, ito yung main purpose of the analysis of variance. Okay, next. So, dito tayo sa example. Example agad tayo para makita natin kung ano yung pagkakaiba. Okay? So, dito sa example, ito yung depression score after 3 different types of treatment. So, una, cognitive behavioral treatment, and yung group 2 naman, psychodynamic therapy, at saka yung pangatlong grupo, yun talaga yung walang treatment na ginawa. Okay, alam naman natin kapag cognitive behavioral at saka psychodynamic therapy, di ba? Iba naman yun. And yung no treatment control. So, ibig sabihin, tatlong variety ng result yung i-analyze natin. Ngayon, hindi applicable yung ibang statistical tools. So, all you have to do is to do the analysis of variance. Okay? So first, you have to, sabi ko kanina, lahat ng sample ay mayroong mean. So in this case, kukunin natin yung mean. So dito sa group 1, ang mean niya dyan is just equal to 5 plus 9 plus 11 plus 6 plus 2 plus 15. Or that is just equal to, kunin muna natin yun. Di ba ito yung x value niya, no? So, kunin muna natin yung summation ng x. Yung summation ng x is just equal to the sum of 5 plus 4 plus 9 plus 11 plus 6 plus 2 plus 15. So that is equals to 48. Okay? And then, ilan ba yung n natin dyan or sample? Diba we have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. So yung ating n is equals to 6. So paano natin mahahanap yung ating mean? So just divide 48 divided by 6. So yung ating mean dito sa group 1 is 8. Okay? So bago tayo mag-standard deviation, kasi nandyan SD, standard deviation yan, kunin muna natin yung mean din ng group 2. So dito, we have the summation of x is equals to 16 plus 17 plus 18 plus 13 plus 10 plus 19 is equals to 93. And yung ating n ulit is equals to 6. Therefore, yung ating mean is just equals to 15.5. Please verify to your calculator. And next is for our group 3, our summation of x or x value dyan is just equal to 14 plus 19 plus 16 plus 9 plus 15 plus 25, or that is equals to 98. Yung n natin is equals to 6. So 98 divided by 6, yan yung ating mean. That is 333. So okay na tayo doon, no? So pwede na natin pwede ko nang ikuha yung ating standard deviation. So I hope na alam nyo pa kung paano tayo mag-compute ng standard deviation para hindi kayo malito sa ating gagawin dito. Okay, so before tayo magkuha ng standard deviation, remember, yung variance formula natin is just s squared. Tapos yung standard deviation is just equal to square root of that. Okay? So kunin muna natin yung variance formula. Ano ba yung variance formula natin? Okay, yung variance formula natin is equals to s squared, or s squared is equals to fraction bar. Then sa taas is yung ating n. Then summation of x squared minus the quantity summation of x raised to 2 over yung n times the quantity n minus 1. Ngayon, wala pa tayong x squared. Di ba ito, lahat ng ito is a value of x. Okay? Yung binigay is a value of x. Ngayon, kunin natin yung kanilang squared. Okay? So this is 5 squared. This is 25. Okay, sorry. This is 81. Then, 121, 36, 4, and 225. Okay? And then, yung total nito, kasi yan yung summation, di ba? Okay? So, this is just equals to 25 plus 81 plus 121 plus 36 plus 4 plus 225 is 492. Okay? Now, dito naman tayo sa kabila. So, x squared. So, this is just equals to 16 squared or 256. 17 squared or 289. 18 squared is 324. 13 squared is 169. 10 squared is 100. And 19 squared is 361. To get the summation of x squared is equals to, that is equals to 1,499. Okay? And for the last group, we have 14 squared or 196. 90 squared, that is 361 ulit. 16 squared, that is 256. 9 squared is 81. 15 squared is 225. And 25 squared is 625. To get the value of, dito ko na ilalagay ano. So yung value nito ay 1,744. So take note of that. Yun yung mga nahanap natin na summation of x squared nila. Ngayon, kunin naman natin yung kanilang mga variance muna and then yung standard deviation. So, ulitin lang natin siya, no? Pa-screenshot nyo na lang para alam natin yung result. Okay? So, again, ilalagay ko ulit yung sa variance natin, x squared is equals to n times the summation of x squared minus the quantity summation of x raised to 2 over n times n minus 1. Okay? So in this case, sa sample 1, meron tayong n that is 6 times yung summation ng x sub 2 natin sa group 1 is ilan ba yun? 492. 492 minus yung summation of x naman natin is 48. Ano ba yung summation of yes, nahanap na natin to kanina, no? Yung 48, then raised to 2 over 6 times 6 minus 1. And that is equals to 21.6. Yan yung ating variance. To get the SD, okay, that is equals to square root of 21.6. O yung ating SD is 4.65. Okay? For the group 2 naman, dito ko na sa taas ilalagay. So we have 6 times yung ating summation of x squared, 1,499 minus the quantity of summation of x, that is 93 squared over 6 times the quantity 6 minus 1, and that is equals to s squared is equals to 11.5, o yung ating SD is equals to square root of 11.5, which is 3.39. Then the last one is for the group 3, we have 6 times yung ating summation of x squared, that is 1,744 minus the quantity 98 squared over 6 times the quantity 6 minus 1, and that would be equals to s squared is equals to 28.61, or SD is equals to square root of 28.61, so that would be equal to 5.35. Now, meron na tayong standard deviation, meron tayong mean or yung bar x natin. We have also the summation of x and n. Yung variance formula, ginamit lang natin yun para mahanap natin yung SD or yung ating standard deviation. Now, after that, ano yung sunod natin na gagawin? So take note ulit, pwede nyo screenshot yung ating solution. Next, after that, kunin natin yung ating means, yung ating bar x, saka yung bar x or mean squared natin. Kasi yun yung gagamitin natin sa ating sum of square nga naman. Okay? So ito na yun. Yung treatment condition natin, ito yung tatlo. Ito yung cognitive. Sulatan ulit natin. Ito yung cognitive, no? Ito yung psycho, at ito yung no, or no treatment na nakalagay, no? Then yung means nila, di ba we have, ilan ba yun? 8. Tapos dito is 15.5. Tapos dito ay 16.333. So ayan yung na-compute natin kanina. You just have to square that value of means. So, yung 8 squared is 64. Yung 15.5 squared is 240.25. And then 16.333 is 266.77. Now, get the summation of those value. Yung summation of means or yung, ito sometimes, di ba, ito yung bar x. Ito naman yung bar x squared. Para hindi kayo malito. Okay, yung summation of bar x or summation of means is equals to 39.833. 833. And yung summation of bar x squared is equals to 571.02. So saan natin to gagamitin? Doon natin to gagamitin sa ating SS or sa ating sum of squares. Yung SS natin or sum of squares is equals to the summation of x bar squared minus fraction bar. Sa taas, we have summation of x raised to 2 over G. Sorry ha. Okay. Over G. So saan natin makukuha yung G? Yung G is yung number of group or kung ano yung sample natin. I mean, kung ano yung treatment. Kasi di ba meron tayong tatlong treatment. So yung G natin is 3. So okay, so ilalagay lang natin yung value. So that is equals to 571.02 minus sa taas we have summation of x that is equals to 39.833 squared over 3. And we get the value that is equals to yung ating SS or sum of square of the mean is equals to 42.13. Yan yung gagamitin natin mamaya. Okay? So next is, kasi di ba sabi natin, yung F is just equals to the variability of the between over the within. Okay? So yan yung ating gagamitin. Yung SS or sum of the squares between over sum of the squares within. Okay? So yung sum of the squares, tanggalin ko muna para malinaw tayo, no? Ayan. So yung ating SS, sorry. Yung ating SS between is just equals to the SS of var x or the sum of square of the mean times yung ating sample number. So that is just equals to yung nahanap natin kanina na 42.13 times 6. Okay? So we get the value of the sum of square between is just equals to 252.78. Okay? So ayan, gumamit na lang kaya ako ng ibang ano. Sorry ha. Dito na lang ako gagamit sa note para malinaw. Okay? So ito na yun na, ulitin natin. Yung ating sum of square between is just equals to the sum of square of the mean times yung ating n. Okay? Yung ating SS mean na nahanap kanina is 42.13 times yung n natin, each group is 6. So that is equals to SS between or sum of the square in between is just equals to 252.78. Okay. So ngayon, ano naman yung next natin na gagawin? So kunin muna natin pala yung difference or yung DF between at saka DF within. Okay? Yung DF naman, DF between is just equals to G minus 1. So that is equals to 3 minus 1 or that is 2. Okay? Yung DF within naman is equals to your N or yung total population minus G. So dahil tatlong treatment tapos 6 yung sample, so that is 18 minus yung G natin na 3. So this would equals to 15. So ano naman itong gagamitin natin dito sa DF? Kasi we have the value. So nandito yon. Sana meron akong nilagay. Ayan. So ito yung ating DF or differences, no, between and within. So itong table na to ay nasa appendices ng statistics and meron tayong uploaded sa ating Google Classroom. Kukunin lang natin yung ating DF between ay yung ating vertical which is 2. Itong 2. And then 50 naman yung ating horizontal which is the difference within. Okay, so we get the value of DF is just equals to 3.36. Okay, so take note of that. Okay, next. Kunin naman natin yung individual computation. Kasi ito, di ba, yung SS natin na nahahanap dito is para sa lahat ng sample. Okay? So, kunin naman natin yung individual computation nito. Okay? Para mahanap natin yung error. Okay? So, individual computation. Ibig kong sabihin dito is yung individual computation ng treatment. Okay? So, unahin natin yung sa cognitive. Okay? Sa cognitive, we have SS X bar. Kasi yun yung mean natin. That is equals to summation of x squared, bar x squared, I mean, minus fraction bar and then summation of x squared over g pa rin. Okay? So, ang g natin ay 6. Okay? So, for cognitive muna, yung first group natin, group 1. So, that is 492. Nahanap natin to kanina. Minus, yung summation of x natin na 48. Okay? Enclose natin and squared natin divided by 6. And then yung ating SS mean or sum of the square of the mean sa ating group 1 is 108. For our group 2 naman, substitute ko na lang. So that is 1,499 minus quantity 93 squared over 6. And that is equals to 57.5. And for the other group, yung last group natin, that is equals to 1,744 minus the quantity 98 squared over 6. And we get that the SS bar X of group 3 is just equals to 143.33. Ngayon, saan natin to gagamitin? So therefore, i-add natin to para mahanap natin yung SS error natin. Okay, or within. 'Di ba? Okay, so yun, yung SS, palitan ko muna yung SS within. Ito na lang yung gamitin natin, within. Okay? Ito yung total nun. So you just have to add 108 plus 57.5 plus 143.33. Okay? So that is equals to 308.83. Yan yung ating SS within. Okay? So I hope na nasusundan nyo yung ating solution. So after that, kunin naman natin yung mean square. O malapit na tayo doon, no? Kasi yung mean square kasi gagamitin natin yung ating SS between at saka yung SS within. Okay? So wala na tayong ano. Okay. Next to find is our MS or yung ating mean squared. Sorry, malaki to. MS between. With the formula, yung ating sum of the square between over yung ating nahanap na DF. Yun yung vertical. Okay? Huwag kayong malito. Yung DF na hinanap natin with the vertical and the horizontal is just the combination of that para mahanap natin yung DF value na 3.68. Pero in this one kasi, yung between, di ba, is just a vertical. So, kukunin natin yung DF niya na yung vertical lang din. Okay, so yung SS between natin, again, that is 252.78 over 2. Okay, huwag kayong malito dun sa DF na ginamit natin. And that is equals to 126.39. Sorry. Okay, next is kunin naman natin yung mean of the square within. So, dito naman, ang ilalagay naman natin, yung SS within naman, over yung DF naman dito ay yung horizontal. So, that is equals to 308.83 over 15. So, that is equals to 20.59. Ayun. So, ngayon, punta na tayo sa F ratio. Yung F ratio is yung variability ng between at saka yung within. So that is equals to MS between over MS within. Okay? Okay, substitute the solution or yung result natin. That is 126.39 over or divided by 20.51. We get the value of 6.14. Ito yung ating F ratio. F ratio is equals to 6.14. Okay? Ngayon, di ba meron tayong nahanap na DF or yung ating critical value doon na mas mababa siya doon sa ating nahanap na F ratio. Therefore, marireject natin yung null hypothesis and then ang kukunin natin or ang i-adapt natin is itong na-compute natin na hypothesis or yung ating F ratio. So, ganun po, ka-critical yung ating analysis of variance. Dun sa ating example, try to solve muna, then gawa tayo ng discussion for that dun sa activity exercises. Pero, iba kasi yung nandyan na formula, pero halos the same naman, no? Kasi yung 2K kasi yung ginamit doon. Pero at least merong step by step na procedure kung paano nyo gagawin. Ang pinagkaiba kasi doon, parang meron ako ditong presentation. So, ito yung mga ginamit natin na formula, no? Nandiyan sa ating PowerPoint. So ito yung kailangan nyo sagutan. Pero in this case kasi, bigyan ko kayo ng hint, Di ba kanina, meron tayong n value. Meron din tayo ditong n value. Pero magkakaiba-iba. Kasi nung kanina, yung n value natin, yung sample size natin, in each group is just equal. So dito, iba-iba. Kaya, iba-iba naman yung gagamitin natin na formula, which is yung nandyan sa ating module. Okay? Na naka-step by step. So gusto kong tingnan nyo and then i-follow nyo kung paano nyo mapapalabas yung F ratio. Ngayon, paano mo ba kukunin yung ating summation of x? Okay? Kasi may bar x ka na dyan, yung mean, di ba? Kapag kumuha ka ng summation of mean squared, meron din. Pero yung x natin, or yung total ng x, ibig kong sabihin yung sample, halimbawa, yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halimbawa, yan. Or yung n natin dyan is 5. And then yung summation of x natin dyan is yung total nito. O yung 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So that is just equals to 6, 10, 15. Yan. So paano mo ito makukuha? Di ba pag kukuha tayo ng bar x, i-divide lang natin to into 5 and makukuha natin na yung bar x is 3. So therefore dito, pwede mo naman siyang i-multiply itong dalawang ito to get the x. So nakuha nyo siguro yung ibig kong sabihin. Makukuha mo yung summation of x by just multiplying mean times yung n natin. Okay? And yung ating SD, hindi na kayo mahihirapan. Yung ating SD is just equals to S1 or S2 or S3, S4, standard deviation. Nandyan na. Sa ating example nung kanina is hinanap pa natin siya. Pero dito sa given na na activities, nahanap niya na yung SD. Okay? And follow nyo yung SS between, SS within, MS between, MS within, saka yung DF within at saka DF within, DF between at saka DF within na gagamitin ng naka-table naman yun. And come up with a better solution and get the F ratio. Thank you for listening. So I hope na makuha nyo yan and upload nyo dun sa ating classroom.